Okay, so are we gonna start right at the hop?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, dive right in, man.
I played Destiny for the first time in 6 months. No meme. Other than the first week of Deepstone Crypt, I was gone back to Genshin. I played the first day, like the day one race. I did the full clears, you know, on all the characters, and then the next week on reset, I played a few days, and then I was gonzo. I didn't even get the lament. I think the lament came out like that next week, and I was
Mm.
gone before lament even came out. So I have not played in a long time. I have no adept weapons. I don't even know what a hunt is. I didn't even do any of the hunts or anything really.
You didn't
Um,
miss much.
didn't miss much. And the first trials card back, we matched immense cheaters. So it was really a great welcome back. I got carried by
Yeah.
ZK and Frost, and the guy had like full auto rockets and everything. So I see that
Uh-huh.
issue isn't gone.
No, if anything, it was worse this past week.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had a lot of fun because I haven't played in a while and like getting little power levels so that I could do trials at 1260. It was fun. It was nice. But I have to say, I feel like PvP feels like identical. Like I know apparently they nerfed like all the stasis stuff, but like it still feels very
It's
much the
kind of hard
same.
to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's definitely not as bad. Like it's definitely not as bad, but just inherently stasis is so powerful that like you don't notice, oh, I've been frozen for 1.6 seconds less because you just die
You
anyways. You know
still
what I mean?
died.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
so it's like the suck grenade doesn't pull you as much anymore. That's definitely that's one of the most noticeable things. But everyone has just kind of switched to now
Cold
the
snap.
freezing grenade.
The
Yeah.
cold.
Eh,
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like one thing's gone, just replaced with another. And it's just the inherent power of slowing and freezing is so immense that like they're gonna have to redesign the subclasses really,
Yeah.
unless they nerf them into the ground.
Yeah, I was playing on Exodus Blue, and there's this guy that he just walked out, and he didn't strafe, and he just walked out and started spraying me with a gun, an auto rifle, and I put a couple shots into him, and he whipped a cold snap grenade at me, and it froze me, and he didn't strafe, and he didn't do anything, and he just stood there, and he kept laying into me with his auto rifle, and he finally kills me before I could break out. And then I looked at that play, I looked back at the clip, and any
You
other
would have won that
grenade in the
gunfight,
game,
yeah.
I would have won or at least traded. He could have stuck me with a fusion, a magnetic grenade. He could have thrown a lightning grenade right behind me, and I would have killed him. But instead, I stood there trying to break out. I'm crying. I'm like, come on!
Yeah.
And he just murdered me. And it's those little things that it isn't the fact that I died, it's the fact that it was the most frustrating death I've ever had to
Yeah.
deal with. But I have a question, and maybe I've just been really unlucky. Some people in chat are saying that grenade launchers aren't that bad. I feel like they are being spammed. Like every game, there are people with grenade launchers
Oh,
flying
there's lots of
around.
GLs
which
Grenade
which
launcher.
map is Exodus? Is it the crappy one with only two
Legoland.
lanes you can go?
No, Exodus Blue is the
Exodus-
small one with
Destiny
B
1,
in the building in the middle.
bunch of train cars laying around on one
Oh,
side.
okay. Never mind then. Like, there's the map with it's like one giant building. There's only two ways to go, and there's like a heavy.
He
I can't
doesn't play
remember.
PvP, so he doesn't know the maps.
I don't know. I played all weekend, but I don't know the maps. But it's like there's only two ways to go, so everyone goes to one spot. That one was Grenade Launcher City because it's like you could blind fire, and there's like a 90% chance that everyone was going because there's only two lanes. Like
You're talking about
people-
Dead Cliffs? Is that what you're talking
Oh,
Maybe,
Dead
yeah,
Cliffs,
maybe,
yeah.
maybe Dead Cliffs. Yeah, like people complain about COD having 3 lanes and Destiny maps have 2 lanes. It's like you can go one of 2 ways. So you blind fire your GL one of the lanes. You have a 50% chance of getting someone. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of insane.
Yeah, I matched a lot of GLs today. I took an almost 3-week break from Destiny. And I came back on Friday as well. Friday was my first day back. I just did a little bit of trials, and then I was off again until I don't know. This week I picked it back up. I did my first like full Destiny stream in 3 weeks this week. It was all PvP. And yeah, I think Mike, to kind of piggyback off of what you're talking about, I think the thing that I dislike right now about PvP is that we're used to having metas being pretty solidly defined in Destiny. I mean, they come and they go, but the problem with this one is that I feel like we've had so many things be introduced that are really frustrating to play against, and all of those things are the most used things. You know what I mean? So when you get one banged by a GL, it's just an aggravating way to die.
Yeah.
When you get hit with stasis, it's an aggravating way to die. And the
You
thing
get killed
is,
by Fellwinter from like 5 meters more than
even
your Fellwinter has
it's
ever
like,
gone in your life.
like I got the drop on the guy with my SMG. I landed every single shot, and he's like, huh, and I die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just there's a whole lot of frustrating deaths right now in PvP. When you die, it's most likely from a really frustrating situation. So you just end up having a really negative experience. So we're used to having metas being really defined, but this one's just a little bit different because this one just kind of it eats at you.
Yeah. You know, the thing is,
true.
is everyone's
it's
like, are you coming back? Like, are you going to come back? And nothing's changed enough in PvP to make me want to come back. And you know, I said the first Trials card we played, we had a cheater. It wasn't just it. It was we did 3 Trials cards. We did go flawless, but we lost our Mercy on all 3 cards to blatant, full-on, wall hacking, aimbotting cheaters. And so it's like, that obviously has not gone away. I don't know when that's going away. So it's like, one in the category of, I would never come back and grind PvP. There's one. All the grenade launchers hit me. There's another one. Stasis, still super frustrating. Unless they delete it, I don't know how I'll ever enjoy that.
How did you like Dead Man's tail from like
that's the other one
across the map?
Dude, what is that? I was playing and this guy was hip firing me. He's shooting so fast, and then I was like, "Well, what is that? Is that like a hand cannon or whatever? Like who's shooting so fast?" But then I spawned in and he shot me like really far, and I was like, "What the heck is this?" I died to this guy 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row. This dead DMT with everyone's calling it Dead Man Tail or something. He's shooting this gun at me, and then I looked it up. You don't even have to aim it. You don't have to aim it. I started watching footage of
it shoots faster when you're hip firing. So it shoots at 150 rounds per minute hip firing.
And then you're strafing faster because you're hip firing. I'm looking at it. How is that in the game? I don't know how they haven't nerfed that.
You put line rampants on, or you use Top Tree Dawn, and then you're in the air with perfect accuracy. Now, here's the thing about Deadman's. I don't mind, especially an exotic weapon being that powerful. You have to give up your exotic slot. Like, maybe it needs to be adjusted for sure, but I don't, like I said, an exotic weapon being powerful, that's what an exotic primary should be, is powerful. The Thorn, the Hawkmoon, I don't mind them being very powerful. But the dumb part is that, like, okay, you allow Deadman's, why did you take out 150 hand cannons? Like, 150 hand cannons in this meta would not be problematic. And then also, Bungie is nerfing 120s, which, okay, 120s are very oppressive, but they're nerfing 120s. If they nerf 120s and don't touch Deadman's, it's already almost a Deadman's meta right now. But if you take away Deadman's main competitor next season, why would you use anything else?
Right. You know, the thing that I noticed is I feel like people are closing the gap with shotguns like all the time. And I feel like the 120. Well, yeah,
you
that's
slide
one.
with Behemoth at 1,000,000 miles an hour with like basically no recharge. It's like even 10 feet.
Even the 120s, it's like they can't shoot fast enough to deal with someone pushing you. Where with a 150, if I hit my shots, I could kind of put them down. But with a 120, it's like chunk, and then I trade, and it's like what is going on here? And you know, maybe there's some other guns, but the sandbox isn't amazing. I'm having fun because I haven't played in 6 months. But dude, I don't know. PvP hasn't changed. We know this.
What about PvE?
That's the thing.
Did you play a lot of PvE?
So I did because I got murdered by that DMT thing. So I went and I did the mission. I did it today, and I did it solo. And I did it blind. What a great mission! Oh my! Yeah. I thought I liked that better than Whisper the Worm myself. I liked it better than 0 Hour. The reason why is because I mean maybe in the master mode or whatever there's a time limit. There's no time limit. I could just find my way around. There's like little puzzles, but also I actually don't like platforming in Destiny. It tilts me because they do things with the camera where like in the Whisper mission, you kind of like jump down and it's like, I'm going to make that. And then the wall curves in and you don't actually make it or you ramp off of it. Or what they do is you're making your way across a little platform and then they fall out, or you're making it across and it just like physics you off. And there's a couple of those spots, and they're made to troll you, and it pisses me off because it's like there's no one would ever know that if you step on that spot, it launches you off unless you've done it. And I don't like that. I really get frustrated with those missions because there's a time constraint. And I just liked going in here. I figured it out. I put in emote only. I just got lost in it. And I thought there was really good music and like just kind of an eerie feeling. Really
it's
cool.
fantastic.
Really good.
Dude, this season for PvE has been pretty darn good. The Presage mission was fantastic. The reward at the end is, I mean, arguably overpowered, but absolutely worth it, which is what you want. You don't want a big, complicated, exotic mission, and the reward you get is trash. What's the point of doing that mission then, right? So that's great. Battlegrounds is a pretty fun little activity. They have really high enemy density. There's some fun moments in Battlegrounds. The weapons you earn are pretty darn good. The like 720 SMG, the sniper is quick draw, opening shot, very good sniper, or surplus open. Like there's some great combos with that. The rocket launcher is great. Like this, in terms of PvE, Bungie's been doing a pretty good job this season. It's just like PvP since Beyond Light has been like, and we've said this before, like we're trying to get back to where it was, and it's just been such a struggle because of and what you said best, TV. It's like everything that's on top is so annoying.
Yeah.
Like we don't always have that. Stuff is on top that's good. Like, you know, spare rations by the end got pretty freaking annoying. But it's like, at the end of the day, someone's just shooting you with a gun. They're not like cheesing you with a grenade launcher that like bounces off a wall and then hits you in the back. And you're like, God, you know what I mean?
Or literally banking, like literally blind firing into corners and you can't
still get
your health back like hard light. But I don't know. I think the PvE stuff was like fine. I just feel like also my Warmind build is still so cracked. And like, unfortunately, like a lot of PvE in this game is very easy and like not that interesting. So doing that new mission, I didn't know what to expect. I was going in and there's some puzzles and stuff. Amazing. Any type of raid content, amazing. Any dungeon, I love it. But I don't know. Like the battlegrounds, it's shooting a bunch of Cabal. Like I'm not into that anymore, unfortunately. Like I don't think there's anything they can do unless there's puzzles and it's hard and it's like a raid or a dungeon. I don't think there's anything that they can throw at me that I'm going to be like, oh, I want to grind this, unless there's like a god tier reward at the end. But I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it just to do it. You know what I mean?
I think they're talked about introducing like the hard mode dungeons, hard mode raids, and you can get adept versions of raid gear, of dungeon gear. Ooh. That I think is what we're missing. Because you are right. Like Battlegrounds, especially since Battlegrounds has modifiers. Like, oh, check that modifier. It's Grenadier. Put on an exotic that gives you 2 grenades. Literally infinite grenades. Like you just like yeet them all day. You beat everything. It's pretty easy. You can't even necessarily fail. It just takes longer than normal. So in terms of challenging content, like Grandmasters are definitely a little bit more challenging. But now that they're selectable, you just pick the easiest one, do the best loadout, and just yeet through it. Right. Yeah. So I think that's what they're missing. They need like the hard mode raids. They need the hard mode dungeons, honestly. So for the extra step.
Here's the one thing I have noticed, though, over the past 6 months is Destiny is a very good game. I think everyone is just so addicted to it and so, like, burnt out on it that they complain a lot and they don't realize what they have. But I'm still burnt out. Like, I return it, I'm like, I'm already burnt out. Like, I don't love the game the way I used to, but after playing other games and not being around it, there is some incredible content in Destiny. The gunplay, the movement feels amazing. Like, it really is an amazing game. I just don't know if after 7 years, it's like, I don't want to grind Rumble for every stream day in, day out.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun, like, the past couple days just chatting with everyone and, like, kind of coming back for a bit. But, like, could I grind this game the way I used to? I don't know. Not unless they make some big changes. And maybe that's Witch Queen down the road. Maybe I just need a little bit more time. We're going to talk about like Apex in a bit and, some other games that are going to be coming out. And like, maybe I just need some of those things before I feel fully healed and recovered. But I mean, you do the same thing for 7 years in a row. You're going to get bored and you're going to get tired of it. And
you got
to rest.
It's weird because like if a new player was like, should I play Destiny? I'd be like, absolutely. Like there's so much freaking content. It's going to take you like 1,000 hours before you're even like close to being done with stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Right.
But it's like we've been playing for so long. It's in a weird place because like the game's still good, but it's arguably been better. And it's weird to be playing a game that's been like better in the past. Because you like have that knowledge of like what it
Yeah,
could
that's
be.
right.
You remember Forsaken when it came out and it was like absolutely banging.
Yeah.
And then it's like the Beyond Light comes out and it, you know, it's different. You remember PvP when it was great metas, and so the bad ones hurt so much more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Forsaken. As a PvP player, I'm thinking back right now. I'm looking back, reminiscing on Forsaken. Even Black Armory meta in PvP was great, and quite honestly, one of my favorite seasons of Crucible was the Warmind DLC, and that's back when it was still double primary. Like the player population got a huge boom. They went to connection-based matchmaking, and like we were just having so much fun in PvP back then. You know.
I would
So-
rather die and play double primary than get hit with grenade launchers and stasis. So
That's and
that
that's
is
the thing.
gross. That is the fact that I would consider that is gross. But
Right.
Yeah. But that's the interesting part about like Deadmans. It's like Deadmans is so annoying, but at the end of the day, it's a primary. It's like this is kind of what we've been asking for. Like
Mhm.
it is oppressive as hell, but at least when you get killed with a Deadmans, you're not, you know, the sad part is that you never just kill the Deadmans. You're frozen and then kill the Deadmans, or you're slowed and then kill the Deadmans. The ability spam is pretty insane. Like I was playing Iron Banner, grinding bounties with the Geomegs and Chaos Reach. It's like,
Mhm.
dude, you get your like bounty for getting super kills done in like one game. I would get like 4 supers in a game. It is like so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because I have
there's
so
a
many
lot of super
abilities.
kills. Like I feel like with all the roaming supers and stuff too, like it's just
Every super's
constant.
roaming. That's
Everything.
something people don't like realize that. Back in Destiny 1,
I
most
miss
of the
Fist of Havoc, man.
most of the supers were not roaming. Like
you
yeah,
hit
Fist
one
of,
time and then
Fist of Havoc was one slam. That's all you
Limit.
get. And
It
I
was
would
a bigger
still run
radius
it.
too.
I would still
One-
run it and I would still pop off, like get like triple kills
Yeah.
and stuff, but it was one
Absolutely.
slam. Nova Bomb was one thing, right? Like, and now it's like we have Nova Warp, you know. Even the Nova Bomb spawns more little Nova Bombs that go and seek people, right? The freaking you have a one and done super, the Revenant, but it isn't really. It's almost its own roaming super because it'll follow you around
Yeah.
for what seems like 20 minutes. Like every super is a roaming super, and it lasts for such a long time, and just like it feels so oppressive. Nothing's worse than like dying from a super, respawning, and that same guy who killed you is like coming into your spawn. You're like,
Yeah.
really?
And that happens
We
a
gotta do
lot.
this again. Oh
Yeah.
my god, dude.
Yeah.
And they have so much like damage resistance. Like I should be able to shotgun melee a super. Like if I am able to get up to you in your super and shotgun melee you, you're bad. Like you're bad. You're trash, kid. Like you deserve to
Or,
die.
you know, if you're doing your lunge, you miss, you stop short, and I'm there. It's like
Yeah.
I win now because
Yeah.
you messed up. I
Yeah.
get to kill you, but you
I've
don't.
gone to Dawn Blades behind them in the air and like shotgun, meleeed, shotgun again, and they're still alive with like a tiny bit of health, but they're still alive. And it's like, what more do I need to do? And it's just
Yeah.
like, it gives you that hero feeling, and that's why Bungie does it. It's like, but it is
I
like,
am a god.
yeah, that I'm a god feeling, and the casual players love it. They pop a super and it's free kills, and they go on streaks, so they wouldn't be able to get with guns, and they feel like this is so amazing, right? And we see that emulated in other games. Call of Duty brought in like basically score streaks that you now in the latest Call of Duty, dying doesn't even get rid of your kill streak. Right? Because they realize like people want to call in that chopper gunner. People want and like, but in terms of balance, it's like it wears on you because you get it, but other people get it, and other people get it more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, in short, I liked coming back a little bit. The new mission and stuff, really cool. But honestly, my main focus right now is just getting my power up enough because I want to do the vault. I want to do vault with like Frost and ZK and stuff, and just do that to experience it. And I guess see what next season has, but like, I don't know. I'm still waiting for more. I'm wondering if like Witch Queen is it. But like, here's the thing I wanted. Can we move on to like the potential leak of Bungie? Because I wanted to just like.
Can I ask you though, like,
hit that real quick.
do you think though, like for you to come back, they would have to have almost like an entire DLC or season completely dedicated to PvP, like zero PvE content? It just adds PvP game modes. It just does PvP stuff. It adds PvP maps. Like it's a PvP season.
I mean, that would help me. That would help me to play it, but then also to have something to sustain me in between. but like I would be just as inclined if they had like 2 raids coming out. Like I really
Yeah.
like the PvE stuff. I really like it.
Mhm.
I will make a build to try to race for world first, but it's like usually like 6 months, a year before there's like a big new raid. So
Yeah.
I mean, a PvP one would be good because that would be the filler in between those things. But honestly, it's
Yeah.
just like I want more. I need more.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news is like Bungie's like tripling in size, right? So it's like they're obviously still in the process of doing that. They're expanding their building, right? So they can accommodate. So it's like they're definitely expanding to hopeful, and they're hiring a bunch of people in Destiny. They've hired like, I mean, the last stat I heard was like 30% of the people working on Destiny they like have been hired and have never seen the studio, or even more, 30% or
Right.
more. So these are all new hires. So 30% of the Destiny staff, they're bringing on new people. They're trying to like, so they are trying to be able to fill our endless demands for content. So hopefully I think with Witch Queen is going to be the next like huge banger.
Right. But here's
I'm
the
really
thing.
looking forward to it for
Yeah.
sure.
Here's
Because
the
Beyond
thing.
Light had to do the next gen. That took so much resources.
Yeah, that's true.
But they've also hired on. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying with that, like they did a lot of like back end stuff to like get like starting to get
don't realize
crossplay and all
exactly.
that shit, right?
That took so much resources.
That's
We've
right.
said this before, but it's worth mentioning for like the newer viewers. What's it? Cyberpunk had to delay their next gen version. They're gonna get their next gen version out 2021, fall 2021. It's gonna take them a year to make the next gen version, like a proper next gen version. Bungie did it by December, so it's like the amount of resources it probably took I guarantee took away a lot of potential content that we might have gotten.
Sure.
Now the question is, are they going to do a season of PvP? Are they going to focus on PvP when apparently they're hiring right now and they're building a competitive shooter, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, we're assuming shooter, right?
yeah, exactly. They just say competitive game, I think, in the game listing, right?
Competitive PvP, esports, focus. Yeah, game.
Right.
Well,
Now,
so
I'd be
gotta
shocked if it
assume-
wasn't, though, right?
you gotta assume like Bungie's strongest suit, right? The best thing they have going for them as a studio is their movement and gunplay. Like there's just, I mean, having spent a lot of time in the past month alone playing a bunch of other games, one of the things you always keep coming back to, no matter how bad Destiny might be with its sandbox and meta, all that stuff, you always come back to the fact that, geez, man, Bungie makes really good movement and shooting. Like they're just so freaking good at it. So you got to imagine they're going to play their strengths, I would think.
Yeah, I'd be shocked if they didn't make a shooter. And, you know, but it also makes you wonder, like, but like what? Like an arena shooter? Is it going to be like a tac shooter like freaking Valorant? Because like,
is it going to be a hero based? Yeah.
Yeah. What is that going to be? What does that look like? Is it going to be a BR game? Are they going to finally do a BR game? One of the best feeling BR games we've ever seen. I don't know. I really
here's
don't
the
know.
problem. Here's an interesting kind of thing to think about is like, so if they're making another PvP game, if they're making a competitive arena shooter, on the one hand, you're kind of excited because you're like, well, now they can make maybe like a Destiny PvP type of game that isn't constrained to PvE, right? Like they want to add cool PvE stuff, but that breaks PvP all the time and vice versa, right? So now it's like you can just balance everything for PvP perfectly. You don't have to worry about this entire other part of the game. So on the one hand, you're kind of excited, right? But on the other hand, you could easily surmise that, hold on, is the reason we haven't gotten a map in 2 years is because all the people who make maps are working on this new IP.
Right?
Man, I sure hope not.
Doesn't it make sense, though, if you're making a competitive shooter game to put your best PvP guys on that project?
That's a scary
therefore
thing.
taking them away from Destiny?
Like,
That
I
just
get
common
that, but
sense that you would do that.
I know, but at the same time, that kind of pissed me off because
yeah.
you have not communicated to your audience. You've got this huge dedicated PvP community who's just constantly just like, we're sticking it out, we're riding it out, we're waiting for that content, man. We're still waiting, you know, just to keep them on the hook like that. With I mean, if you're gonna do that, I think you owe it to your dedicated PvP community to say, listen, we're gonna continue to support Destiny's PvP experience with sandbox updates, but we're working on some other stuff, so you're not going to see any fresh PvP like maps and game modes for a little while.
Yeah, you gotta tell us.
because so many people like me included, man, we just been sticking it out. We've just been riding it out, just thinking maybe this time, maybe this season, maybe this update's gonna be different. Is there gonna be a secret map they drop like they did back in year 1? They would do that. Did that a couple of times. Like, by the way, new map. Remember when Emperor's Respite came out? By the way, I thought that was a great map. But it launched when the first team beat
The raid.
the Leviathan raid.
Yeah.
And they're like, by the way, new map, Emperor's Respite is now
Wait,
active.
where the hell?
We're like, bro, yeah.
Again, like, how hard is it to make a new PvP map? Like, get it together.
If you're
It
not gonna make,
it can't be that difficult. Like, come on.
if you're not gonna make new maps, then why did you
Hella-
take half of them out? Like,
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know,
insane.
man.
And new game modes too. It's like, again, it's like how do you not have the resources to make new game modes? Like, dial it back on like making 40,000 different shaders, all right, and make a new map, right? Like, but I know it's not the same people working on it, but it is a little bit concerning when you think about it that way. Could this new IP be hurting Destiny 2 because all the main PvP people are on this new IP?
100%, because it's like, well, who else is going to be on that IP? They're not going to hire like a bunch of unknown staff. They're going to get the people that know how to build Destiny. Like, honestly, get Vicarious Visions in there or something. Like, I can't.
Yeah,
I know they
mean,
can
like,
now, but like,
but yeah. And do you think that would hurt them though? Because it's like, if they pull everyone off to make this new game, and Destiny 2 PvP is not in a good spot, and they try to announce this new competitive shooter, I don't think that's going to help them, because everyone's going to say, you left Destiny 2 PvP in shambles. Destiny 2 PvP proves that you guys don't know what you're doing. I mean, clearly you could make the argument that with Beyond Light, Bungie, the Bungie QA, or at least like something went wrong there. Like, there's no way,
Yeah, I don't want to
there's
blame
no
the
way
QA,
a competent like tester would have been like, this is fine. I almost think that the testers were saying, we have problems. Stasis is very oppressive. And the people who made Stasis, their egos got in the way, and they said, no, it's going to be fine. It's so cool. It's so awesome. Let's ship it, right? Or they thought, it's going to be a little bit more powerful. Maybe they didn't realize how much more powerful, but they thought it's going to be a little bit more powerful, so it's going to generate sales. But it's like, you could point to that and say, how could we have faith in you guys designing a new completely PvP game when you clearly they do not know how to balance Destiny PvP,
right?
Yeah.
Or have messed up countless times. Like, you have had it balanced, but you've also screwed it up beyond mention. Like,